28 or so, we can check how the temperature setting, and we can also see how the actual temperature of the room. So this is the temperature trend data. We can see for health monitoring. So this for example, this room, the temperature has increased for these 2 days, and then it sometimes decreased. Maybe someone came in and turned the air conditioner switch on. And this is the power consumption viewer by room and by type. So in this building, we are monitoring outlet electricity usage, HVAC usage, light usage, and other. So and every room is also measured. So for example, this one, it shows the energy usage of the outlet of a room. And so it is very small character, and so on. And so independently, we are monitoring about 750 lines in this building for R&D development. This is the life status measurement management. So this is in August, where people do not come to the university, but sometimes people have switched on the light, especially at the end of the August. So we have carried out a demand control experiment, which is like by controlling the HVAC system, we can reduce the energy consumption, the peak consumption, peak demand of the electricity. So this is the experiment configuration. This is metering system, and then these application units control the HVAC system. And this system has switched off several HVAC air conditioning systems, and then they have successfully reduced the peak of the building, peak usage of the building. So in summary, so in this presentation I have showed some technical solutions for energy management. And as I said, IEEE 88 is a key technology in our community, and several products and services are already started. And I have shown that 50 megawatt campus management, which was actually quite successful. We have installed with small cost, but we have got a lot of benefit. And I have also shown the R&D studies for Green ICT. It's still ongoing. Thank you very much.
Please give thanks again to Professor Uche. We learn about this engineering, and we now understand a successful example and how electronics controls these greens. So thank you so much. And then because of time limit, we just have one or two questions. Any questions or any comments? Okay, please.
I wonder if you can talk just a little bit about the costs of setting up one of these systems in a building, and then also if you look at kind of the cost benefits. So if some buildings are saving 60% within 2 years, can you offset the cost of installing these systems through savings in electricity?
Well, so your question is about the cost and the balance of the benefit.
Yeah.
As for the reduction in the testbed building, engineering building 2 in our university, is we have we have put many facilities for monitoring all the loads. But that was just for R&D development. So we have successfully reduced such amount. The cost was about, I think, 60,000 USD, I think. No, 60,000. Just a moment, I will tell you later.
Okay.
Then, as for the other part, we have installed for campus management. In that case, the installation cost is less than the building, less than the previous building. But it handles much more power, much more electricity. So only 1% reduction returns a lot. So at the campus case, it works very efficiently. We install the small system, and then it allows a huge benefit. It makes huge benefit. So I think that's a good direction for campus management.
I want to know, once you install a system, then you can monitor the energy consumption. It also monitors where some equipments are using more energy than it should, like that way, or it just monitor and then you take accordingly steps. Or it also allows you to monitor, tell that this particular equipment or this area is consuming more energy than it should.
So your question is about?
Once you monitor energy consumption, right? And you see that there is some more energy consumed in particular area or equipment. Is it?
I'm sorry, I don't catch. Sorry. So your question is monitoring the facilities, and then you analyze
whether there is more excess energy is utilized by a particular area.
Okay. So you are talking about the controlling of the facility of such areas.
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't done yet.
Okay.
We have just monitor and show, and then people take actions for controlling the facility working modes. Thank you.
Any comment, please? Any other question?
My question is that can this beautiful system, excellent system, more reduce the energy? Because already 50% is reduced, and in the future more reduced until 99%.
I don't actually know. It depends on the facilities they are using. They will change the facilities. For example, from HF light, how can I say, this kind of light to LED light, or they can upgrade the air conditioning systems to the newest one. Then it will reduce the electricity. But I don't think they can reduce 99%. 99% is too much.
No, we will do.
Maybe in that scenario, the next step will be the installation of solar panels or such kind of renewable energy. We need to install it.
Thank you so much for your nice talk. And we learn about this engineering, and engineering also very optimistic. save our energy. That's a great point. Please give thanks again to the professor. And why don't we go straight forward without break? Is it okay? Yeah, so we continue. The second talk, Paul Gerard from IISD. She will give us a talk about the leadership and the change. So she will show us how we can be young leaders for saving our nature. Please welcome our beautiful speaker.
Stand up here because I like to be a little bit closer to everybody. In fact, I'm only going to talk a little bit and then I'm going to ask you all to work, because I think when it comes to leadership and change, there's not one answer, there's not one way to make a great leader, there's not one way to make change happen. There's many different ways. And we are all here in this room together and we all have different ideas, we come from different backgrounds, different cultures. I think it's a really good opportunity for us to think together about different ways that we can become leaders and that we can make the kind of change that we want to see happen. And so what I'm going to do is talk just a little bit about the theory of change and how change can happen. And then I'm going to ask you in your tables to do some small exercises to think about the change that you would like to make and what sort of actions you can take to make it happen. So my name is Pauline. I come from Canada, a small city in the middle of Canada called Winnipeg. I work for the International Institute for Sustainable Development. We're an international non-profit organization. And at IISD, I am part of a program called the Sustainability Innovation Leadership Center. So I do work on leadership and innovation and training in different groups around the world, and I'm very, very happy to be partnering with Daejeon for this session today. So where's the, thank you. Okay, so the objectives, sorry, slow. The objectives today, what I want to do from this presentation is for us all to think and work together. I want us to consider as a group leadership and change within the global context and within this International Conservation Congress. The questions that I want us all to answer are: how does change happen? What makes a good leader? What type of leadership works best for your own challenge, for whatever you want to do? Because there are many kinds of leadership. So what is the kind of leadership that you need for your challenge? And then how can we plan to make change and have impact? So a good leader, one definition of a good leader is that we help to meet the basic needs of our community, and we have a strong vision for the future. So for today, you are all my community, and I think because we've been listening now for a while, I want everybody to stand up and do a little stretch. Stand up, stretch, shake your legs, shake your arms, touch the ground. Okay, thank you very much. You can all sit down. I noticed that you all laughed when I asked you to stand up and stretch. It's because it's not in your normal idea of a lecture, right? To have to stretch. So it's one way I've made you change a little bit. Change your mind about what is a normal lecture. Right? Yeah. So the overview of my presentation is I want to talk just a little bit about the fact that we're all here part of the IUCN Conservation Congress, this big, large, global meeting. And why it's important for us with the Green Campus think about how change could happen, but also for anyone who's working on conservation around the world. Everyone here at this meeting understands the importance of the environment. It's their challenge now to go forward and convince governments, organizations, other people why it's important and why we need to invest in the environment, why we need to improve biodiversity conservation. So they also need to make change, not just you, everyone here. So I will talk just a little bit about organizational change and how change really happens within an organization, because I think it's important to have that as a context as you're thinking about your own actions. We'll talk a little together about leadership, and then we'll make a small plan together for leadership action. So we're all here at the IUCN Conservation Congress, big global meeting with leaders from all around the world. People here are trying to figure out what they have to do, and after this meeting they'll go home and try to figure out how they can get it done, how they can make change. So I want you all to understand that it's not only you in your own universities, but it's everyone. It's a big global movement, and we all need to be more efficient at our communications, be more efficient at getting our message across, and be more efficient in action. I wanted to say too that I think it's interesting, the theme of the Congress is Nature Plus. So that means biodiversity conservation, but also what that really means for all of us, for people. How conserving biodiversity can help the environment and our own lives too. In some ways it's very similar to Zhejiang and the Green Campus movement. I like to think that as I read through all of the material and I watched the video and listened to you all, it's really your students' class. Students today are graduating from university with much better understanding of the environment than I had when I graduated. There's a much better understanding, and as a result, you all are a resource for making change that we need to happen. You're very, very important for that moving forward in the future. And I think it's important for you to recognize it, and I'm very happy that IUCN has given us this session here, because I think that they also recognize that young people in universities and campuses can be models. They have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and understanding, and we need to recognize that. So my point is, regardless of what your initiative is, whether it's a green campus movement, whether it's improved biodiversity conservation, whether it's more protected areas, whether it's big policy change for the environment, we need to know how change happens. We need to know the type of leadership we need, and we need to know how to think strategically to get it all done. So that's strategically about communications, about collaboration, and about consensus building. So that means everybody together understanding what needs to be done and making it happen. So I'm going to give just a few slides about organizational change. This is how an organization, and when I say organization, I mean, it could mean a university, it could mean a business, a company, it could mean a government. So it's any group, organization together. So we can all understand a standard typical organization that has top-down influence. We are influenced by the directors, by the president, and because whatever they say sort of filters down into the way things happen. So if this is the way an organization works, and you want to change that organization, then one way would be to try and influence the top, right? But actually, an organization changes for more reasons than only the top down. There's also a side influence. So we call it lateral, comes in from the side. It's an influence by changes in policy, by changes in an overall understanding of something. by changes in markets or interests, by not just the top, not the workers, but sort of the side, and it can influence and change the structure of what's going on in an organization. And then of course there's the bottom up. So those are, if it's a university, we're talking about the students. If the students come forward as a group and say, we want our university to have better environmental applications, be more of a green campus, then they have the power to make that change. But you know, they will probably be more efficient at making the change if they also influence the top. You know, so to make changes within an organization, the best way is to have influences from the bottom. So you get the workers or the people, most of the people within the organization to agree, have lateral influences, so that means you have a strong policy that supports the change. So maybe the university will make a policy for improving efficiency. And also support from the top. So then the president of the university or the director